A 55-year-old coal miner comes to you with gradually progressive breathlessness. He's never smoked. He doesn't have tuberculosis. But what is causing his lungs to fail? The answer is not an infection. It's not cancer. It's something he inhaled every day for 30 years while doing his job. Today, we look at pneumoconiosis, a disease caused by inhalation of dust particles. Pneumoconiosis is a lung disease caused due to inhalation of mineral dust or chemical fumes from workplace. Pneumo refers to lung and coni means dust. The incidence of pneumoconiosis was very high during the early 1900s, but knowledge of pneumoconiosis has helped bring in regulations which has reduced the incidence of pneumoconiosis to an extent. Pneumoconiosis can broadly be classified based on etiology. Most commonly, pneumoconiosis is caused due to mineral dust. This includes coal, silica, asbestos. Then organic dust like moldy hay, bird droppings, cotton, etc. And recently, even chemical fumes have been added. Most commonly, nitrous oxide and ammonia. This takes us to the pathogenesis of pneumoconiosis. There are certain factors which decide whether a person will get pneumoconiosis or not. First is dust retention within the lung. So this depends on the concentration of dust in the workplace. More concentration, more retention. Then duration of exposure to this dust. Obviously, more exposure, more chance of getting the disease. Not all dust particles can cause pneumoconiosis. A range of 1 to 5 micrometer is classically said to be causing pneumoconiosis. Why? Large particles are blocked by cilia and it is cleared through the mucociliary mechanisms. So they don't really reach the lung. Now, tiny particles, say less than 1 micrometer, they'll go all the way inside and then they come out. So they also don't really cause the disease. But this group, 1 to 5 micrometer, they are the perfect group of dust particles which can go in all the way and get deposited. Then particle solubility and cytotoxicity also matters. More soluble particles can easily cross the barrier. Next point is particle uptake. Once the particle reaches here, whether they are taken in by the respiratory epithelial cells. Only particles which can reach inside can trigger this disease. Once the dust particle reaches inside the lung, they are eaten by macrophages. These macrophages go to an area where lymphoid cells are collected and then inflammasome is activated. This leads to more and more inflammatory cells coming into this region and later on to fibrosis. Smoking affects both the mucociliary clearance and macrophage function. So a coal worker who's also a smoker has a very high chance of getting pneumoconiosis. To summarize, we saw that pathogenesis of pneumoconiosis is influenced by dust retention, which in turn is influenced by the concentration of dust inside the workplace, duration of exposure, and then the size of the particle matters. 1 to 5 micrometer is the ideal size. Then solubility and cytotoxicity, and whether the particle uptake by the epithelial cells occur. Then once the particles are inside, macrophages eat up those particles. Then they go to an area within the lung where there are more lymphoid cells, lymphoid collection. Then inflammasome production occurs. Lot of inflammatory cells come in. Then fibrogenic signals are also released, which later leads to fibrosis. This is the common pathogenesis of almost all pneumoconiosis. Now let's look at coal workers' pneumoconiosis.